What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another run here at American Truck Simulator. Got a few things I'm going to go over today with this run. It's kind of a late test drive, and I'll explain a little bit about that as well. But what I have here is the Classic XL version 2.0 from Oddfellow. He has updated this. Originally, it came out for ETS2. A lot of people tried getting it over in the ATS. Some had issues, some didn't. And Booth said, just cool your jets. He'll update it, move it over. And he has. Now, this has been out for a couple of weeks, so it's not exactly something fresh, something new. But this is different because, well, it's got the flat top. Doesn't quite look right to me, but then again, this was originally a high-rise sleeper. So I don't know if this is, something that was 3D and bought and then modified, or if they just took the high-rise and just, lopped off the top, and here we are. Here we are with this. It just looks a little weird to me. There was another one that was a flat top and it didn't look quite right. But, I'm not complaining by any means. I like it. It looks good. And, I've been a fan of the Classics as well as the Coronados. It'd be great if we had an updated Coronado, but we don't. Hopefully sometime down the road we will have that. But this truck here has a crap load of options. And it has that one thing I personally can't stand, is when the outside options or inside options show up on the outside. It just makes it look even that more screwed up, because you have all those extra option bubbles showing up. And if you guys look at the photo there, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Buttons and option bubbles all over the place. So if you want something that's highly customizable, here you go. And it's not a 389. That's even better. There are some things you cannot change. I don't believe you can change the running board lights there. I think that is as is. So a couple different things here. I wish we had options to change around, but we don't. Maybe in a future version we can. The air cleaner lights and things like that. Just add a little bit more flair to it, if you will. But it is what it is, and I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. So I do have the Peterbilt rims on here. I don't know off the top of my head of any good Freightliner rim pack. So Peterbilt rims from Viper here look good on pretty much any truck, in my opinion. Not a normal engine sound here. This is the Detroit Diesel Series 60 with 515 horsepower underneath the hood. That's what I'm rocking. You got the choice between the DDs and the Cat engines. They both sound pretty good. They're not great. They're not awesome, but they're not horrible either. They're a lot better than some of the original Cat sounds. There are a couple of new Cat mod packs out there as well. I don't know if they work with this one though. So no extra sound pack with this one. I haven't. I don't think there really is one, but I do not have one activated that changes things up here. Now, when you put the running lights on, you do get the headlights. One little annoyance for me, and you see it gets brighter when I put the headlights on. But I'm going to roll with the headlights anyway, because it is a little early here in the morning. Bring this up. There we go. 5:30 in the morning. Leaving Reading here, heading down to San Rafael. Or San Raf. Damn it. See, I've been corrected on this before. I've called it San Rafael. I've called it San Rafael. San Rafael. Because I think I mentioned San Rafael, and that they're like, oh no, that's not right. That's not right. So sometimes you can just never win, right? This is a pretty looking truck, though. I do like in the sounds. Ooh, did my FPS take a hit getting in the cab though? Holy crap. Now, some of the interior options here are fully customizable. You got your different dashboard here. I went with the mahogany look. You can also change out the shifter as well. You can change out the look on that one. You saw me coming, you stayed there, so you get that. Clear this out. It does look at the... You do have this, the high-low there on the shift indicator, which is very nice. That's a good sounding truck. Wow. Great job on this one, Oddfellow. Alright, so let's set the cruise here. There we go. Alrighty. Lots to talk about here. Alright, to start off with, the videos and the timing. I was going to do a whole channel update video. I decided, you know what, I'll just go ahead and update them as I go along. So for ATS here, I've had actually people ask me, do you still play ATS? Well, yes, I do. My reply was, I just put one up a couple days ago. So, yeah, I still play ATS. Granted, it hasn't been as much as it has in the past. Why are we on the brakes here, people? We're adding a lane, not losing a lane, yet we still slow down. Granted, I don't play as much as I used to. You know, there are other games out there to play. But, yeah, I still play, and you know what? It would be sheer idiocy if I were to stop doing videos for you guys, seeing the vast majority of my subscribers here are here for ATS. You know, I've picked up subscribers for Farm Sim, for iRacing, and then when I stopped doing them, you know, of course, those subscribers dropped off. So, I'm not about to do that here with ATS. Has ATS lost some of its following? Not just with me, but with people in general? Yes, it has. You know, for many reasons. People are not happy with the lack of... part of me wants to say effort. It's just a lack of overall anything, really. I mean, yeah, we got Arizona, okay. Now we're getting New Mexico, okay. But, you know, people were hoping for another truck. You know, a Freightliner. I mean, a Mack will never happen, so I would think Freightliner International or Volvo would be our next bet. That doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon because they haven't said anything. More freight, more cargo, more trailers, you know, a little more variety, but we don't even have that. And so it's turned a lot of people off from the game, and I've heard many people say it's as if SCS cares more about ETS2 than they do about ATS. Well, ETS2 is still their bread and butter. I mean, hell, look, if multiplayer alone has anything to say for it, you know, when you're looking at 2,000 to 3,000 people fighting for space on one server for ETS2, and then you only have 200 to 250 prime time here for ATS, you know, it kind of gives you an idea of just how popular the games are compared to each other. So, is ATS as popular as it was when it first came out? No, it's not. Has it lost some of its luster? Yes. People are feeling, you know, left out. ETS2 continues to get love and, you know, extra trailers or, you know, what have you. And, you know, ATS here has, you know, oh boy, paint jobs, Halloween, Christmas, Valentine's Day, just what we were looking for. That's what I think. So, you know, we're being kind of left out in the cold here. And so, yeah, people have lost interest in the game, and they might come back when New Mexico comes out. I've heard people say, no, I don't plan on coming back until they introduce another truck, until they, you know, introduce more trailers and more cargo. They make the game a little more random than what it is right now. And who knows when that's going to happen, if it's going to happen. The game should never rely on mods to keep itself afloat, and quite honestly, that's what ATS is doing right now. That's what SCS is doing with ATS. They're relying on the mods to keeping it afloat. So that is just my opinion. People might beg to differ, and that's, you know, that's fine too. So, but I'm not going to be stopping the videos here. Still plenty of mods to play with, and we all enjoy them. You know, some of us have more than others, and that's, you know, to each their own with that. So plenty to show off, plenty to use, and to keep ourselves entertained. Now, one other thing about the whole scheduling I was going to mention, and I need to move over now. What I plan to do here with these videos is release 2 a week, at least 2 a week. And so Sunday will not be Sunday Test Drive anymore. Sunday will now be iRacing, because that is making a return here to the channel. I don't remember that being there, loaded and empty. But Monday will be the test drive, is what I'm planning for right now. I need to move up a little more. Okay, there we go. 90,000 pounds, nice. But yeah, Monday will be test drive. Wednesday will be an ATS day, as it has been, so that'll be the backhaul, or another new segment that I'm going to call ATS Cruising. And Cruise, or ATS Cruise, is basically where, you know, if I showed off a trailer mod for the Monday test drive, what the cruise will most likely be is where I discuss something for 5 or 10 minutes, and then the rest of the video I just shut up and let you guys enjoy the sights and the sounds of the truck and all the peripherals, you know, the air brakes, the tires, and everything else, because of Captain Creechbaum's 2.4 pack that I currently have, where you can hear the tires on the road and everything else. The ambient sound that is added because of that mod just really helps enhance everything here. But Mondays and Wednesdays are ATS days, and that's the way I'm planning on rolling with it over here, starting in the next week or so. So just keep that in mind, guys. Sunday will be now iRacing, Monday and Wednesday will be ATS days, and of course the ATS live stream with the crew on Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Central Time on the US server. As always, that is still going to change. There is still the possibility we say, you know what, let's change it up and do some ETS. But as of right now, you know, we'll see what the crew feels like when that time comes. Why are you stopping? There we go, getting into gear. Not the brightest driver around. Now, I don't rule out an ATS video on Friday or Saturday. If I've done the work on it and it's rendered and ready to go, then I will do so. But I only plan on doing one video a day, regardless of what game I play. And come on, move. There we go. There's no guarantee, you know, Thursday or Friday, or I'm sorry, Friday or Saturday will be ATS. It could be 7 days, it could be golf with your friends, it could be something else, who knows. But I don't rule it out. I know you guys like the ATS and the mods and everything else, so I got that Volvo right on my butt. that green is just really nice too. Gets in the sunlight and it starts to pop a little bit. It's a dark green, but yeah, I like it. So, one other thing I wanted to touch on here was a post that was made after the last video that I ran with the Fontaine magnitude, and I had mentioned just Zedor's name. Zedor, my understanding back when it first came out was the original modder, and Trayscapes I don't think they teamed up originally at the start, but you know, that's neither here nor there. Now it is ZRTR, and I only mentioned Zedor's name and not Trayscapes, so of course I got called out for that. And hey, I welcome stuff like that. I want people to make sure I stay on my toes here, keep me on my toes. And it wasn't, you know, it wasn't something that was done purposely or anything of that sort. So, you know, I don't want anyone to think that way. I'm sure someone does. Who knows? I don't know. But I only mentioned one half of the group, and I didn't mention Trayscapes. So, okay, I should have. ZRTR is the group, regardless of when the mod came out. So, you know, that pretty much goes for any mod, regardless of how much people have a hand in doing something with that mod or not. With many mods here in ATS, many modders fight just for that recognition, and it really annoys a lot of them when they don't get it. There have been many modders who have taken a break, who have stopped releasing public mods, who have quit modding altogether because mods were leaked, stolen, credit not given, things like that. And that's the one thing you want to piss off any modder, regardless of how much work they've done with anything, is you don't give them credit. And look out. So, it just went with Zedor, didn't mention Trayscapes. You know, it is what it is. So, if I did offend anyone, viewer, fan, subscriber, or even anyone within that group, period, because I left off Trayscapes and I just mentioned Zedor's name, then my apologies. It was not my intention to insult or offend anyone because I did not mention the whole team. I had mentioned in the response that I normally do not mention the whole team, but seeing in this case it is Zedor Trayscapes, it was pointed out that I should have. Which is fine. I will just have to remember to call it the ZRTR. That one I've never noticed before. Now there is also one other version of that trailer I was thinking about purchasing for a group. The same group that brought out that Landau trailer, American style modding, and that one was a magnitude, but it was not the same magnitude that we know. I mean, it is the same style of trailer, but it's slightly different. Instead of having the sides where tires would normally rest, it's just a bare chassis. So large vehicles, excavators, rock trucks, things like that, sit on the chassis of the trailer itself with axles or tires or tracks dangling, you know, just hanging there because the chassis of the vehicle itself is on the chassis of the trailer. And I did find one of those, 3-axle, and I was trying to pair it up with some heavy equipment machinery, and which I normally see on the road, but unfortunately it's not something I have found as of late. But bringing in some more realistic oversized loads is what I was looking to do with that style of trailer, which we don't have yet. But also, since 1.6 is coming out and there could be issues with other mods because of that, I decided to hold off on that, let everything get sorted out, and then revisit that option if available. There were other options we had tossed around, or I had tossed out there to see if anything stuck. Tankers. Something sort of like what Sybaris has with his milk tanker, but a different version of it. So we would have all sorts of tanker cargoes, not just milk or non-portable water tankers. Come on, let me see. There we go. Turn the head. Lots of different choices out there. Another one I thought of for a brief moment and then decided that wouldn't work are the Baker tanks, the portable tankers, which usually have only one axle on the back of the trailer. In a truck, it doesn't hook up to it like a normal truck and trailer. The truck has a winch on it, kind of like a roll-off for a garbage company, and so the driver will back up to it, hook up the cable, and then winch it up the back of the truck, back of the chassis, and then hook up to it there. So, but I figured, you know what, that probably wouldn't, look too well. Then you gotta modify the truck. You can't use just any truck. You have to modify the truck to have that winch and the roller on the back to lift up that tank, which I don't think would work out too well. So it's like, okay, well, which truck do you want to modify? And you can't modify them all. If you do a T800, well, then you're going to have people asking for a 389, and the list just goes on. So but it is what it is. But all that will be revisited down the road. Alright. All set. Yeah, in the sun, that dark green doesn't look too bad. I like it. But that is going to be it for now, guys. I appreciate you watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that stuff. You guys know what to do. So, for the rubber ducky, I'm out. Take it easy, guys.